What's going on YouTube? It's David from Dealer Tech, and today we're throwing some big upgrades into the PowerEdge R720xd server, which is right behind me. So let's check out what we have in store. Not one, not two, not even three, but 4 boxes full of RAM, 762 gigabytes. That's how much RAM we're putting in the server today. So we're upgrading from 112 gigabytes, so it's going to be a noticeable change. And we're actually going to be occupying every single slot, 24 slots available on the R720xd, and we're filling them all up with these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful 32 gig sticks of RAM. So there's upgrade 1. Let's find out what upgrade 2 is. Oh. 2 matched CPUs, significantly upgraded performance to the existing processors that are in my server now. So as far as I know, these CPUs are the best Xeon processors that we can put into the R720xd. And the fact that you can buy that for like 60 bucks for a matched pair is just, it's bonkers, right? You have to do it. So yeah, pretty big upgrades, right? I mean, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Putting in RAM, quite easy. Taking apart the heatsink, removing the existing processor, a little bit more difficult, but we shouldn't have any problems. That's what we're doing today. By the end of this video, the R720xd will be one hell of a server, a RAM machine, just over 3/4 of a terabyte of RAM. I mean, holy shit. So, enough talking, enough yapping, let's get to work. So we have the PowerEdge R720xd on the table, ready for some surgery. We've got our rubbing alcohol and thermal paste for the removal of the existing CPUs, and then installation of our 2 new CPUs. And we also have a ton of RAM that we're gonna slap inside every single available slot in the server. So let's get started. So let's go ahead and get started removing the RAM. We have RAM sticks, and then we also have these blank black cover panels. One down, a lot more to go. Interesting. These little black pieces are, I haven't seen those before. Then the RAM that was in here previously, this was some Samsung 8 gig sticks. And just like that, our server no longer has any RAM in it. So next, I'm actually going to grab the case. First, unboxing. And that's what we're working with. Samsung 32 gig. Wait a second. This says 16 gig. Oh. This is for This is for my T420. Okay, whoops. Yeah, so these sticks are actually for my T420. So I'll have to put those back, but just make sure that I didn't get screwed by a eBay seller. So I'll have to check on that. I'll check the ad and see what's going on, because I thought I got 32 gigs sticks for actually both my T420 and my R720xd, but I ordered them at the same time, so we'll verify that. Yeah, so we got 32 gig sticks here, and I had to order all of these sticks in a few different sets of orders just because there were so many, so that's why I'm maybe a little confused here, but certainly disappointing. I really doubt an eBay seller would do something like that, but I guess accidents do happen. Scams do happen too. Yeah, so more 32 gig. And yes, 32 gigs in here. So our updated quantity of RAM is 12 sticks for this install. So we'll have another 12 sticks coming later. As far as the order of installation for our RAM sticks on the R720xd, it goes white slots first, then black slots, and then green slots. So with the 12 sticks that we have, we will be filling up all of the white slots for each CPU and then 2 of the black slots. So we'll go ahead and get started. Go with the harder ones first. This guy's tricky with my sausage fingers. One down, 12 to go. It's dusty. Maybe I should have give it a little. One box left, so we have 4 black slots to fill. I think I mentioned 2 earlier. Don't know what's going on with my math tonight, but so we have all of our RAM installed for now. 12 sticks, 32 gigs each. But let's go ahead and throw these filler panels back into the RAM sticks that are open right now. I'm not exactly sure what the functionality of these is, other than maybe to just keep debris out of the slots, but none of my other servers have them. They're kind of fun though. We have a few open slots. It looks like 2 open slots where we don't have the black filler panels for, and that's because there were more of these little RAM sticks before the big 32 gig installs. I think, what were these, 8 gigs? Yeah. So that's about as good as we're going to get for now on the RAM, but we have an even bigger task ahead of us. Taking off the heat sinks and then installing our new CPUs. Let's gear up for our CPU upgrade. First things first, let's go ahead and use our trusty armband. I should have probably been doing this the whole time, but you know, oh well. And also, a note, I've mentioned a few times that I plan to use an electric drill. Unfortunately, for this guy right here, see, this guy right here, my drill, I don't have a drill bit that's long enough. So there's no clearance, not gonna work. We'll have to figure out another way. Hopefully we're able to unscrew these guys right here with just a simple screwdriver, and look at that. Looks like we have had some success. That's always nice. Just trying to do this like even Steven. Oh baby. So, there's our heatsink. And we're gonna have to clean up all of this crud here. And we'll be removing the CPU and then doing the same for that side. So I think first I'm going to clean off the gobbledygook on this. Oops. Sprayed a little bit on the RAM. Try to just wipe that up real quick. It should be fine, I hope. Look at all that. Get all that old thermal paste. Get you nice and clean. So that's looking pretty clean. I 3D printed this trash can. Isn't that cool? I painted it. Spray painting a trash can like this, it was terrible. Took me like so many coats, but I love it. Very proud of that trash can. Number 2, looking nice and clean. Two clean heat sinks. I always forget to put that on. Oh. That was not good. I dropped some gunky gunk. We're going to go ahead and clean the old CPUs, and then we'll set them in this bag here, and then eventually put them inside of this container. So we've got two mostly clean old CPUs. These are Intel Xeon E5 2648s. So we'll just go ahead and set these on the side for now. And it is time. Oh. I'm actually going to wash my hands and get all of this thermal paste off of them, so see you in a sec. So we have reached the point in the upgrade where I start to really pucker up a bit, because now we're going to be installing our upgraded CPUs, and it's a pretty delicate process. Let's talk about the CPUs that we're going to be installing. What's inside this little box? Well, there are two XEON E5 2697 V2s, and this really is the best processor that you can get for a PowerEdge R720xd. As far as I know, they've got 12 cores and they go up to 2.7 gigahertz. There is a 10-core processor that goes up to 3 gigahertz, but it's all about the cores, baby. You know what I say? More cores, more chores. You know, because you can do more with more cores. Anyway, stupid. The R720xd has the LGA 2011 socket, which you need to buy processors in accordance with that. But what does a 2011 socket mean? Well, it actually means that there's 2011 little tiny pins sitting inside each of the CPU bays, which is, you know, a little fun fact for you. Enough stalling. It's time to get down to business and move forward with our install. Two E5 2697 V2s going into our server right now. So to start, we'll go ahead and nice and gently unwrap our new CPUs. So what do we need to do? We need to install this properly. I'm just doing a quick QC check, but it's looking good. So we need to install these in a certain way. We have our CPU. Oh shit, I shouldn't have touched that. Oh my God. CPU bay 1, CPU bay 2. So if you can see here, there's a little gold mark. There's a little gold mark, and we match that up with the white triangle. It will go in like this, and we just gotta set it down nice and gently, but straight down. Okay, here goes nothing. Boom, just like that. So I was a little intimidated by the amount of force it takes to get that in, but I think we're all set on that side. I'm going to move over now and prepare to install CPU number 2. I don't know if you can tell, but I really don't like this part of any computer build. Processors just scare the shit out of me. I try my best to be delicate, but with these chunk dogs, it's really difficult. Okay, and again, we can see the gold corner, and we need to match it up with the white right here. We'll just very carefully. Ooh, I got the EBGBs. I didn't like the last install there. But if this thing starts up, I'll just be a very, very happy gentleman. It is time to thermal paste it up. We're using some Corsair XTM50 thermal paste. Gotta love Corsair. Although I wonder if it might not be enterprise grade thermal paste. We're just gonna do a little dime size poop on top of each CPU, and then we'll of course put the heat sinks on top of that. We'll go one at a time. Slow and steady wins the race. So it's going to be like this. Dab it. Well, no. We'll dab it on here. Psst, psst. Then just line this up and set her down. Seems easy enough. Cool. And we're getting some tension. Okay. Number one, good to go. Let's get number two taken care of. Look at that. I was guesstimating and I was just about right on my dosage. And just like that, we have upgraded our CPUs, we've upgraded the RAM, we still have a few more RAM sticks to input, but we saw how easy that was. So I'd say so far so good, but we don't know if it was a success yet because we still need to turn this sucker back on. And with any luck, it will be like nothing changed except for this server got a whole lot beefier and a whole lot better. So hopefully that's the result that we see here in a few minutes. So it's the following day and I've had another 8 sticks of this 32 gig DDR3 RAM delivered for my R720xd server. So we're going to go ahead and place these 8 sticks of RAM, leaving us with just 4 more sticks remaining. I think those should arrive hopefully tomorrow. And then we'll finish up our RAM upgrade for the PowerEdge R720xd. One thing I want to note is an issue that I encountered after I did the initial CPU upgrade and this RAM upgrade. I booted to ProxMox and it got stuck on the loading initial RAM disk page at the boot screen, eventually transitioning to a note that says timed out for waiting the UDEV queue being empty. So it's not even proper English, but it was strange because I was able to access my ProxMox web interface and I was able to resolve the issue through the shell, and I was able to then access all of my virtual machines, but only for that session. If I did go ahead and reboot the server, I would have the same issue. I would need to do the same fix to unlock the LVMs and actually access my virtual machines. So I'm not entirely sure what is causing that issue. I did a pretty deep hardware check. I went through, you know, all of the hardware and there were no issues reported. But one thing that's pretty good is I have been waiting or have been preparing for a SSD upgrade. So in a future video, I will be installing 2 of these as my boot drives, and they'll be going to the back of the R720xd. So we have some more hardware required in order for that to happen. There'll be a new backplane here and some more cords added in a coming video. So in preparation for installing these SSD boot drives, I did prepare the server, got all of the data off of my NAS, and so basically I'm ready to do a fresh install of ProxMox whenever I want. And so I think I'm going to do that. Maybe I'll wait for the backplane to arrive and just do it all at once, or I'll go ahead and install the fresh ProxMox install maybe as soon as I finish upgrading the RAM. We'll see. But it was an interesting problem. I'm sure there's a solution that does not require a fresh install of ProxMox or the respective server OS, but that's what I'm going to do because I've sort of reached my wit's end with troubleshooting, and not even ChatGPT or Reddit could give me the answers to the questions I was running into. And on that note, let's go ahead and get started with the install of these 8 sticks of 32 gigabyte DDR3 RAM. So we have installed all of the RAM that we have here at my house. You can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 RAM slots that still need RAM, and we'll have that delivery here early this coming week. Today, the final 4 sticks of RAM arrived for the PowerEdge R720xd. Since it's just 4 sticks of RAM, I have just gone and unplugged everything from the server, or unplugged the power cords. I'm going to try to take off the panel and do the install in place. We will see if that is possible or not. Hopefully I'm able to get it on camera. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's the last of our filler panels. Tell you what, it feels good to fill up a server full of RAM. Perhaps my T430 could become my first server to surpass 1 terabyte of RAM. I'm not sure if that's actually even possible. The PowerEdge 720 or R720xd has a lot more RAM slots, although it is the older DDR3 RAM compared to my PowerEdge T430. You get a lot more slots here. Okay, so there we are, a full 32 gig by 24 sticks install and upgrade into the PowerEdge R720xd. Doesn't get much better than that. Of course, we also slapped in 2 top tier CPUs, the best of the best for this server. Let's go ahead and put the case back on and then power up. See, I could have just done the entire RAM upgrade right here. I didn't need to move it to the table edge each time. But I think the video quality was a bit better because of it. So, you know, worth it for sure. Let's dive into the issue that I encountered after these upgrades with ProxMox. So we'll start with the information that I receive when I boot my server. So booting into ProxMox, this is the first screen that pops up, and it stays on this for quite some time, a few minutes. And then it goes to this, which is timed out, waiting for the UDEV queue being empty. And then it moves to this screen, which says I have volumes that are locked. So those are the three screens that it goes through, but I am able to log into the ProxMox web interface. So let's take a look at that. Here is the ProxMox web interface for the R720xd server. We are able to see the hardware, we're able to access the shell, but we cannot access any of the other virtual machines. And local LVM gives us an error message when we navigate to it. So I have discovered an interim solution to this problem to be able to access all of my virtual machines and use the server properly. But as soon as I reboot, I run into the same problem and I need to do all of these steps again. So that is what's prompting me to do a fresh install this weekend, basically. So let's do the commands that will enable us to use our server properly. So first is lv change-an, and then dev pv data_tmeta. And then we do basically the same command, except it's not tmeta, it's tdata. Then we head over to this other command, which is just going to show us, it's going to list the LVM for us to restart, which is lvm2-monitor.service. So we're going to restart that. systemctl restart lvm2-monitor.service. We're going to hit that. It will take a few moments to restart everything, but after that, everything will work properly. And if you have an idea of what's causing this problem, I would love to know. So please let me know in the comments if you do have an idea of what this issue is. But my solution to it ultimately is a fresh restart or a fresh boot of ProxMox. We're going to check back in here in a few moments after everything is restarted and running properly, and then we'll close out the video. We just saw all of the volumes give us a question mark, so that restart process I think is just about finished. So we should see in a sec that everything is coming back online and working properly. The restart has finished. We're back. We're able to run commands again through the shell, and I'll just start turning on some of these virtual machines so that we can see it's working. Also, local LVM now shows all of the VM disks. It doesn't give us an error message. We're pretty confident that everything's running properly at this time. So interesting problem to have, right? Where we're able to solve it, but as soon as we reboot, the issue occurs again. I wish I had a better understanding of some of the reasons why that could happen, but regardless, I'm happy that I am able to actually use the server, use my virtual machines, and best of all, hell of an upgrade. So thank you for watching this video today. I know it was a very long one, but if you stuck with it, shout out to you. You're maybe even a bigger nerd than I am. 768 gigabytes of RAM and some badass Xeon E5 2697 CPUs, two of them slapped into the R720xd server. We have another big upgrade coming for this server and some of my other servers as well. So make sure you like and subscribe. Shoot me a comment. I promise I'll respond. I appreciate you guys so much, and take care. Until next time.